Oh my god, my mic isn't on. Fuck me. Hey guys, so a few days ago I had tried to do a wear test on the Maybelline SuperStay 24-hour full coverage foundation. I almost said concealer because it acts like one. But some shit hit the fan. I had to go to the emergency vet for my dog and he had to get some stitches in his face. So I wasn't able to do my wear test. I got home at like 2 a.m. I was crying. And then for the next couple of days, he's just been laying around. He's wearing his cone and he hates it. So I feel really bad for him. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I've just been laying on the couch with him, trying to keep him company so he doesn't feel too bad. But I was able to wear it for about 4 days straight now, and so I can give you my full opinion on it. I didn't get to do the full wear test, but I did find on the first day when I wore it, it clogged my pores, definitely around my nose, and it really accentuated my pores. And that never happens with any other foundation. But I do find the coverage to be fantastic, like fantastic coverage. And when I first started using it, I started with 2 pumps, basically 1 pump for each side of my face, and I found that it looked a little bit cakey, and that was when I found that it really clogged my pores and it really accentuated my pores, and I definitely looked like I had a lot of makeup on. So from there I started wearing 1.5 pumps for my entire face. I found that the finish was still there and then the coverage was still there. I would use the last remaining bits of the product to cover up anything specifically. This week I had a lot of acne show up, probably from the stress of my dog. But I had a zit here, here, and right over here. So I just used a little bit extra that was left over on my hand with the sponge and I tapped that on. I did use this with a sponge and a brush. The brush that I used was the Morphe G2 buffing brush, and then I used it with 3 different beauty blenders. So I used it with they're all really dirty, the Eco Tools Total Perfecting Blender, the Eco Tools blender, the Flower Beauty blender, and the Real Technique blender. I think that I like it best with the sponge, mainly because the finish goes on a little bit better. I think that with the brush you get a little bit more coverage, but it ends up looking a lot heavier on the face. It looks almost cakey. Definitely that's always the case when it comes to full coverage foundations. It's always going to be a little bit cakier just because it is so thick and whatnot. The finish of it though isn't completely matte, which I actually really like about that. I don't prefer the full matte face. So it's matte without making your face really flat. It still gives you dimension. Still has a little bit of a satin, I don't want to say sheen because it's not, it is pretty matte. It just doesn't look like it dried up your face entirely. I was very excited to see that it said it was fade and transfer resistant. I didn't find that it was fade or transfer resistant at all, but that's kind of the case with a lot of foundations, and using a really good setting spray could kind of help with that. Regardless of the pores being emphasized, because I think a pore filler would be really good with this, and then it would be almost perfect. Just don't use too much of the product or it'll be a little bit cakey. What I do want to warn you before you purchase it is that it does oxidize. It started off matching my skin really well, and then after I had finished the rest of my face and I looked in the mirror, I was like, whoa! If you can see, without looking at my bra straps, if you can see, it's like, you can't really tell on camera as much as you can tell in person, but my face is definitely a shade darker, so I would say probably go lighter on the shade because it will oxidize. So the pros would definitely be the coverage and the finish. I like it specifically because it is a natural matte finish, or as they say, a seamless matte finish where it doesn't flatten out your face. And if you're really prone to acne, I think it's great because it is oil free and it does cover up whatever you do have, but keep in mind sometimes acne needs to breathe as well. The cons is that too much of it does equal cake face, and can lead to enlarged pores or clogged pores. Oxidizing, I don't really find is a con. It's just kind of something to work with before you purchase it. So definitely keep in mind it does oxidize a shade. So I'm sorry I wasn't able to do my wear test. It's just been a really rough week for me. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.